Brian here with another little van build project I got going on. This is my friend Cody's Chevy passenger van. I think it's a 2008. A lot of open space in here. He took out these two seats right here. He's gonna keep the front one in. That's obviously just sitting over here right now. But what I want to show you is the stuff that I used to insulate the van. You get it from Home Depot. It's all Reflectix. Comes 48 inches wide by 25 feet long. Covers 100 square feet. And pretty much what I did is just took out everything I could on the sides of the van here and used the best stuff ever, which is most handy thing you'll have if you're doing little van projects. 3M high strength 90. It's worth the 12 bucks a can. I would not get anything cheaper than that. And pretty much all you gotta do is, spray the inside of the van. You work in sections, like a 2 foot by 2 foot section, spray it all. Get the Reflectix, spray the back side of the Reflectix, wait a couple minutes, and then attach it all. And it's stuck on there. That's what I use for all the carpeting that I do on the boxes as well. Try to get in every little nook and cranny, back there, everywhere you possibly can, because he wants to be taking it into the snow. This helps with the condensation aspect, and also helps with keeping it a lot cooler inside the van, when you're in a hot climate as well as a sound dampening thing. But before I would go to build anything inside of here, I definitely would put the insulation in. I think it's about 50 bucks for that roll, and I might have used a quarter of it possibly, maybe even a third. So you can definitely use it for the entire van if you really wanted to, but as of now, we're just going to be building out the kind of bottom half of the van. And yeah, that's step one when you're trying to build out a van. Step number 2 of the van process, I built this floorboard out of the plywood that I got. And the hardest part about trying to do this is pretty much getting it, getting it square or getting it lined up correctly. What I went off of is pretty much this track that the seats are bolted into, and then measured from back here up to where the top of the bed is going to be to make sure that it would clear how angled back the back seat is. And after you take those measurements, you kind of just have to cut a sheet of wood, lay it in here, and then kind of just trim out, or kind of mark where you're going to trim out for certain things, like around the wheel wells and different things like this. Later, the wood will pretty much run right along here, so at the end you won't see all of these little lines because it'll be hidden back there under the counter, under the little cabinets and everything that's going to be in here. But pretty much the setup's going to be a bed that comes up right here, storage behind the bed over there, a little walkway right here, and then from here over into that section is going to be a little kitchen, little cabinet, shelf top, storage container. And then we're going to have a certain amount of room right here, about 12 to 14 inches to walk right here, so you can walk through the van. And then the bed will pull out to extend to meet up with this cabinet, so that you can actually have about a 30-inch bed, and then it'll extend to a little over 4 feet. So that's kind of step number 2. I have the seat in here still, just so I can take more measurements for the paneling that will go all the way back on the left-hand side of the seat. And from here is where I'll start mounting all the pretty much vertical pieces that will, continue to create the bed frame. I finished getting the floor kind of template in. I built this big old side piece that the customer wanted to have a little bit of storage in, make the most of this dead space wasted over here. So this is how I built it. You can see it's all going to get carpeted, so all the little snares and everything will be fixed, but this is how it slides in. Right there. Just go on that line, so I'll pull it back a little bit. There we go, it's on that line. And yeah, that's it. So there'll be a top on it right here. That'll be recessed a little bit, so that you can actually set stuff in here and it won't roll out. That top should come across and land right on this little blue window trim. In here, what I did is, it's about bed height. So the bed's going to be about right here after I add the supports coming across and the 1/2-inch plywood. And what you can pretty much do is put stuff in here, But I have a false tray that's gonna go right here, if you can see these lips. So you'll be able to set that false tray in here, and then take that out, pull it out of here, set it wherever. I've installed the whole left side here with the storage inside of it. Figured out the dimension I needed here to fit the surfboards under, and then cut this piece. We have 14 inches high and 30 inches wide. I should be able to fit, you know, a longboard all the way through under the front seats is the plan. A 9/6 longboard in that fact, and then also maybe a couple more shortboards above it. Probably almost 4 or 5 boards without fins, really, but if I have fins on, probably 3. And then I did the slat pine wood on the top here to keep everything square, and because we're gonna have an extra piece of wood here that's also slatted, and that's gonna slide out the full distance to make the bed a little wider for 2 people. And this would be like a single sleeper / a little bench seat. Next part is to build this whole little cubby out right here, so then I can find the distance right here that the bed will slide out even farther, and keep on building. Here is another look from the other side of the bed. I took the seat out and just built in this section right here. He wanted to check out this whole panel here and just make it one kind of flowing side, you know, and it was going to be very hard to work around that panels right here, so pretty much all I did was cut off that section of the panel, because that would have been really hard to get around with all the seat belts and everything that's in there around the door, and then built this box in right here and, you know, made it go with the curve of the seat right there. Down there is the gas tank, or the gas fill-up I should say, so I had to cut around that, but then now you have a little bit more storage, and all of this right here will be carpeted, so it'll look nice and clean and finished. So over here, we're trying to make like a little like kind of kitchen food storage area, and there's going to be a nice top right here that goes right up against the window. And this is pretty much what I came up with. This is going to be kind of like a big drawer thing, another small drawer. These are going to be 2 cubbies where you can put like bread, soups, cans of different things, and that one's going to be a door that opens up, and that one you can, you know, put taller things in, cereal boxes and things like that. There'll be a couple other little nooks and crannies, but for now that's kind of what it's looking like. Now I just got to make boxes behind all this and make sure it fits, and then screw it down and fit the tops. The back of this kind of kitchen thing looks like, I've built in the sides now, and this is all the different ways I attached everything. I had to use a lot of different methods because there's so many different little pockets and different areas where little things like jut out of the van into this area. So this is the different ways I did all this, and I'll show you in a second what it all looks like when it's in the van from the front side. Like from the inside, over here I built in a couple little bits of storage, trying to get as much as I can out of every little piece. I've yet to set the top on because it's actually going to go all the way across and hit on here. So I'm just kind of getting everything fabbed out. I already cut this a little bit to see if the top will fit under here. I might have to trim it a little more. But as you come down, right here we're going to have a little door that opens, closes with a little latch. Put kind of bigger pieces of, you know, food and stuff in there, cereal boxes, loaves of bread, whatever. Right here, all kinds of more storage, pretty deep, you know, cans, whatnot. And then right here, this is going to be a little drawer that pulls out. And down here is going to be a another little kind of pull out thing as well that you can also take out if you ever want to just like store things in there. And then coming around to this side, here's like just another little bit of just storage, little kind of spots. And once again, there's going to be a top right here, so that's what it's looking like right now. Pretty clean, I think. So I've got the cabinet in there. It's not quite screwed in yet, but look what we got. How's this top? About as clean as it can get with what I got to work with here. I'm going to make a nice little trim that's going to go around here, and then something to go along the windows so you don't see all that stuff as well. Coming out pretty nice. Or the drawer, I should say. Silverware, things like that. And the door. A little magnetic catch. Definitely got to make sure that whenever you're building little things inside a van or whatever, you know, as you're building in, that they close and stay kept shut. Because anytime you hit a bump, you turn a corner, something like that, anything like this can easily just kind of throw open if you don't have some sort of magnetic catch, or if your drawer is, you know, in there nice and sturdy. So still yet to actually screw this down, and the top is kind of just floating right now, as we call it. But yeah, next day, screw it all down, make sure it's all fit properly, and then also just carpet all this, and then make the sliding bed, and that's pretty much that.